In this last section, we'll look at monitoring features offered by Prefect. We'll go through all the features available for us in Prefect UI and see how we can view the run history of our flow runs. We'll briefly talk about states and artifacts and see how we can use Prefect's logger. And lastly, we'll implement retries and timeout in our task function. So when you log into Prefect Cloud, this is your home window. It briefly shows your flow runs and your active work pools. So let's just go to deployments and probably a backfill deployment. And here we see we have like 2 flow runs. It also shows you the failure rate and the maximum duration of our flow runs, and if there was any lateness or any violations. And I forgot to mention that you can also inject arguments to your flow parameters through the UI as well. And you also have the feature to trigger your deployments, and Prefect UI provides various options. And if you want to look at our flow run history, you can come to the runs tab here, and here it shows you when our flow runs were executed and how long it took for each of our flow runs. And if you would like to look at some more detailed log information about our flow runs, you can view it here. But if you would like to look at specific task resource information, you can just click on the task in the graph here, and basically shows you when this task was started and when it ended and what was the duration it took for this task to run. And you can also view like the task specific logs here as well. And then if you go to the events tab here, you can also view all the events which takes place during a flow run. And you can just check out which work queue was used, which work pool was used, and which flow run this event belonged to. And these are some of the basic features offered by the open source Prefect UI. So earlier in the course, when we were executing our flow runs, we briefly saw the different states our flows and tasks went through, like maybe scheduled to running to completed. But here in the documentation, we see the full list of states our flows and tasks can go through. So what this does is it helps us monitor whether our flow runs are running accordingly. And we can trigger other workflows based on the state of an upstream workflow. And this helps us build robust data workflows. As you've seen and experienced, logs are verbose and can be difficult to read. So Prefect provides a feature called artifacts, which are basically persisted outputs designed for human consumption. That means you can present your information using markdown summaries, reports, or tables. And Prefect has 5 different types of artifact types, like links, markdown, progress, images, and tables. And you can generate an artifact by calling these functions in your task function. Prefect has a built-in logger called getRunLogger based on Python's logging module. It has 5 different levels of logging, ranging from general information to critical problems. And Prefect Logger is closely associated with each flow and task run, and hence they provide more scope and clarity, unlike print functions or general loggers. So here in this function, we've piped DLT's logger into Prefect Logger, which is associated with this task function. And number 1 indicates that we want to log every step of the execution. In this last section, let's implement retry and caching. And it's pretty easy to do that in Prefect. All we need to do that is we come to the task decorator and define the parameter retries and give it a value. So we can give the value as 3 so that if a task fails, we are asking the flow to retry this task 3 times. And we can also specify how many seconds to wait between each retry. So we can define the parameter retry, delay seconds, and let's give it 10 seconds. We can also specify maximum runtime for a task. So if the task exceeds this runtime, it will be marked as failed. So we can specify this by defining the parameter timeout seconds. And let's set this to 60 seconds. We can also cache our output of a task function by defining the parameter persist result. and we can set this to true. And that's it for this course. Now you've seen how Prefect and DLT work together to build modern data workflows with minimal overhead. With DLT, you can build robust data pipelines and easily tackle common data engineering problems. With Prefect, you can orchestrate these pipelines with reliability and flexible deployment. And together, they offer a powerful foundation for building production-grade data workflows with Python native simplicity and zero-ops deployment paths. And thank you for taking this course, and I truly hope you've taken away something valuable. If you have any more questions, please join DLT's community Slack, and we'll always be there to help you. I hope to see you again in a future course. And until then, take care.